So, where does consciousness come from? I mean, we could look at everything within the brain and we could associate different regions of the brain for the genesis, the original, or the experience of this particular consciousness. But something happens when you become fully conscious. You touch something infinite, that within each human being is a universe of consciousness that is obscured by fear, that enlightenment is a real thing. In anybody that's had it, stands for its existence for others. That these messiahs, they weren't talking about a God out in the outer space. They were talking about the human being when you transcend fear, when you escape the perils of a consciousness divided into two spaces: subjective, ego, entitled realities, totally segregated, unable to connect, unable to communicate, reacting to each other automatically, involuntarily, and projecting the same abandonment, the same fear of being not enough, the same need to figure it out and be perfect, the same subjective collapse we all call heartbreak, betrayal, or mortification for narcissists. But what is enlightenment? Enlightenment is a connection to the infinite expanse of consciousness that resides as the birthright of each and every human being. The likeness in which we are envisioned to be created as God, gods, shepherds of life. You look at a big ant colony, so specialized, so perfected, with each individual ant a component of a superorganism, yet each individual ant seems to be operating independently. But is it? What would connect them all together? What connects all life? And why is being a human being so special? Well, when you touch that consciousness, when you become it, when your higher self emerges outside the boundaries of fear and looks back at that prison for what it was, you start to see the potential of human form. You understand where Einstein got his genius, where the music just came to Mozart, where that autistic person could look at the change on the ground and tell you exactly how much is there, how a child could just pick up a guitar and play, and how me could conquer the entire human mind in 3 seconds. The moment my consciousness came online, sitting on a couch, I saw everything in my mind for the first time that I could see within a memory, and I had no subconscious. It was a wide-angle lens, and it looked into my mind and showed me every image and where it came from, an interconnected universe within, where epiphany would be my new teacher. And all I have to do is open my eyes and walk around and see. And I've been able to cause that in other people. But consciousness itself is something I asked the head of the biology department at Chapman, Dr. Ken Samita. We were studying the brain. I asked him, in all that tissue, where could I find myself? Where is the experience of existence focused? Where's this viewing party? Where's this perfected reality within my mind? Where is it located? Can you find that on a scan? And then who's looking at it? What if the universe, what if the creator of everything One to play a game. One to look at itself. And what if it gave the universe the blueprint at the very genesis of this rendition? And we're just a flash in this infinite expanse, a realm of chaos, of all possibilities coming in and out of being. And like my brother once told me, when the property of time was brought into being, it froze everything. And charged particles became matter. Charged particles that are displacing the nothingness of space and time, forcing it out of its way so existence can emerge for just a flash, creating gravity. And no matter how powerful of a telescope you make, you still wonder as you look out at the infinite expanse of this universe if there's anything looking back. And as you look for miracles, the blasphemy, so when you're looking in the mirror and you don't see the miracle looking back at you, that no matter what you believe, the gift of life cannot be measured. That understanding the architecture of existence, for me, has only enhanced the love and appreciation for whatever architect made this possible. Because there is something. I don't need to believe in anything. I wouldn't be arrogant enough to think that I, as an ego, would be able to solidify some understanding that would somehow rearrange every molecule in the known universe since the beginning of creation itself to align with what I want it to be, with what my fears of the unknown would want me to bind myself to, that I never would lock my mind in dogmas, that I would keep an open end, and I always wanted the truth. Didn't matter what this world did to me, it didn't matter who hurt me, it didn't matter what happened, it was always forgiven. And I always stood for the people I loved. But it wasn't for me to mold myself into what this world needed me to be, but rather see the world from an objective view and be able to see the gift of life in everybody I look at and stand for it for the rest of my life. That's just who I am and what I am and what I will be. Because consciousness itself is so miraculous, so expansive, so profound, and the gift of every single mind is so infinite that I've dedicated my whole life to solving the riddle of the human mind. And now that I've conquered my own, I can talk to anybody to walk them into their own consciousness if they just gave me a moment. I'm going to go back into medicine because I've unified enlightenment, psychology, and science into one continuum where I can see the evolution of the mind so clearly that I can see the first human being saying me, pulling themselves out of the perfected view of reality to try to experience itself, when the view of reality was already the experience of self. And so, again, where is this consciousness? Where is it? How does a neuron create an intention? How does it stimulate itself? Does it just create a pattern, like a lawnmower engine just running? How do I have such freedom? How do neurons collude with each other to choose love over fear? How could you ever try to explain consciousness by looking at a cell and thinking that's the end of the story when it's just the beginning?